Hello student, this is the third part of the federalism of the 10th standard civics. So in this part we are discussing here what makes India a federal country. What makes India a federal country, which is on the page number 16th of your textbook. Okay, so we have earlier seen how small countries so here we have earlier seen how small countries like Belgium and Sri Lanka face so many problems of managing diversity, and problem arise conflicts arise because of the related to the power sharing, which we have seen in the previous lesson of this Belgium and Sri Lanka. So what about the vast country like India? India is a vast country, and these problems is expected in India with so many languages, religions and regions. So what are the power sharing arrangement in our country? Because these differences, because of having the diversity, different type of diversity cities found in India, and what type of power sharing arrangement is in our constitution. So let us begin with the constitution. Our constitution does emerge as an independent nation after the painful and bloody partition. Soon after the independence, several princely states became the part of country. So the constitution declared India as a union of state. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने क्या डिक्लेयर किया? इंडिया एज अ यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट. ऑल्दो इट डिड नॉट यूज द वर्ड फेडरेशन, means we haven't used the word federation, but we have used union of state. The Indian Union based on the principle of federalism, though we haven't used this federalism, but still our union, it is based on what? Federalism. Let us go back to the 7 features of the federalism mentioned, which we have discussed. We can see that all these features apply to the provisions of Indian Constitution. The Constitution originally provided for two-tier system of government. Originally there are two-tier system of the government and union government, and what we call the central government representing the Union of India and the state government. Later, the third tier of the federalism was added in the form of panchayat and municipality. Means actually this is not this is the extended powers of the state government, that is called here third tier of the federalism was added in the form of panchayat and municipality, means in urban area as well as in the rural area. As in the federation, these different tiers enjoy the separate jurisdiction, means separate tiers, whatever levels they are in the government, they use their separate jurisdiction. The Constitution clearly provided a threefold distribution of the legislative powers between union government and state government. Thus it contains 3 lists, and here how what makes the India a federal country. So here in India there are contain 3 lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. In concurrent list include the subject of the national importance such as defense of the country, then foreign affairs, banking, communication, and currency. All these are important for the national interest, and it is included or making laws on this subject. It is rest with whom in the union list, which makes central government makes the law on this rules on these subjects. They are included in this list because we need uniform policy on this matter throughout the country. Means this union list which central government makes the laws is for whole of the countries or uniform policy on this matter. The union government alone can make the laws relating to the subject mentioned in the union list. Means whatever subjects are mentioned in the union list, only central government or union government has right to make the law in this union list. And another second type of list, that is state list, contain the subjects of state and local importance. Which subjects state and local importance, such as police, trade, commerce, agriculture, and irrigation. All these subjects, they are related to the state list. Means state government having the authority for making the laws on this subject. The state government alone can make the law relating to the subject mentioned in the state list. And third list is that concurrent list. And concurrent list include the subject of the common interest to both the union government as well as state government. Means such as education. Which subjects are included in this concurrent list? Education, then forest, trade union, marriage, adoption, succession. All these subjects for making the laws on this subject, it is raised with the concurrent list. Means both these governments have the authority for making the rules on this subject. So both the union as well as state government can make the law on the subject mentioned in this list. If their laws conflicts with each other, the law made by the union government will prevail. Means if in case both this government is having the authority for making the law in concurrent list subjects, but if there is conflicts for making the laws on this subject, then supreme priority will be given to which government? Central government or union government. So what about the subject that do not fail in the any of these three lists? Subjects like computer, software that came up after the constitution was made. Means this subject, these are new subjects that came up after after the enforcement of constitution, that is software and computer. So according to our constitution, the union government has power to legislate on these residuary subjects. So these subjects which were not in that time, for example software and computer and software, so making rules on this subject, that is whose authority? Union government. And these subjects, they are called what? रेसिडुअरी सब्जेक्ट, जो बचे हुए सब्जेक्ट जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इन्फोर्स हुई तब ये नहीं थे. सो वी नोटेड अबोव दैट most federation that has formed by holding together do not give equal power to its constituent assembly. Constituent assembly means holding together, just like India. They do not give equal power to the constituent units. Thus, all states in the Indian Union do not have the identical power. इसलिए हम कह सकते हैं कि सभी स्टेट को इक्वल आइडेंटिकल पावर्स नहीं दिए गए, बिकॉज आर फेडरलिज्म इज लाइक दैट. holding together. Some states enjoy the special status. In this, some states they enjoy the special status. For example, Jammu and Kashmir has its own constitution. Now it is changed. Now Jammu Kashmir rule it is as per the Indian Constitution. Many provisions of the Indian Constitution are not applicable to the state without approval of the state assembly. So Indians who are not permanent resident of the state cannot buy land or house here. तो जम्मू कश्मीर में पहले जो सेपरेट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन थी एज पर द आर्टिकल 370 एंड इसी के कारण वहाँ कोई भी मीन्स इंडियन सिटीज़न जम्मू कश्मीर के बाहर का सिटीज़न कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी वहाँ परचेस नहीं कर सकता था. So Indian who are not permanent resident of the state cannot buy land, house here. Similar special provision exists for some other states of India as well. ऐसी ही कुछ सिचुएशन और कुछ स्टेट्स के दी है. Means all states they are not having the equal powers. So there are some units of the Indian Union. Indian Union enjoy very little power. These are areas which are too small to become an independent state, but which could not be merged with any of the existing state. Means some of the states region they are so small, but still they are independent. They could not merge to any other in the existing state. These areas like Chandigarh, then Lakshadweep, or the capital city of the Delhi, they are called union territories. These areas, regions, they are very small, but still they have the status of union territories. These union territories do not have the powers of state. union territories को state का power नहीं है. The central government has special power in running this area. So who runs this union territories? It is run by as per the provision of central government. So this sharing of power between the union government and state government is basic to the structure of constitution. In constitution there is a sharing of power. Provision is there for sharing the power between union government and state government. So it is not easy to make the changes to this power sharing. The parliament cannot on its own change this arrangement. Any changes to it has to be first passed by both the houses of the parliament with at least 2/3 majority is required. Means whatever changes, means parliament cannot change any arrangement alone. So any change, if they wants any change to it, has to be first passed by both the houses of parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and they require at least 2/3 majority. So then it has to rectify by the legislature or at least half of the total state. और जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट है या स्टेट असेंबली है उनमें से एटलीस्ट हाफ ऑफ द स्टेट हैव टू गिव द कंसेंसस फॉर मेकिंग द चेंजेस इन दिस प्रोविजन. देन judiciary plays an important role in overseeing the implementation of constitutional provisions and the procedure. So judiciary, there is important role of the judiciary here. Judiciary is single and integrated body, and important role is in the overseas of implementation constitutional provision. Whatever constitutional provisions are there, whether they rule it is as per constitution or not, this is the responsibility or work task of the judiciary. So here judiciary has much significance. In case of any disputes about the division of powers, High Court and Supreme Court make the decision. If any disputes arise about sharing the power, then whose initiative or responsibility is there for giving the decision on this matter? There is High Court and Supreme Court. So the union and state government have the power to raise resources by levying the taxes in order to carry on the government and responsibilities assigned to each of them. So union government and state government, means central and state government, have the power. Which power? To raise the resources. What would be the resources and how to raise? It is responsibility of both the government in their respective level. And what taxes have to be imposed, levying the taxes in order to carry on the government and responsibilities. So it is raised with both this government in their respective level. So this is about what makes the India federal country that we have seen. Okay. So generally this question asked in the board exam. What makes the India a federal country? So here we will have to give the answer like this. That is about the union of state, then Panchayat Raj municipalities, then 3 types of list, then how the parliament is having the authority to make the changes. Both the houses of the parliament and half of the state legislative assembly, they have consensus for making the changes related to the power. 2/3 majority would be there in the parliament. All this, and judiciary, role of judiciary in India, Supreme Court and High Court. All these points we will have to be mentioned if this question asked in the board exam. Question would be like this: how can it be said that India is a federal country? So next is on the page number 19. How is फेडरलिज्म प्रैक्टिस? फेडरलिज्म की प्रैक्टिस कैसे कर सकते हैं? So here constitutional provisions are necessary for success of the federalism. Success of federalism, it is depend upon the constitutional provision. What is the provision in the constitution that is important, that is necessary for the success of federalism? Without constitutional provisions, federalism is not possible. But these are not sufficient. लेकिन वो sufficient भी नहीं है. If the federal experiment has succeeded in India, it is not merely because of the clearly laid our constitutional provision. The real success of federalism in India can be attributed to the nature of democratic politics in our country. तो हमारे यहाँ फेडरलिज्म जो है सक्सेसफुल रहा है, तो what is the reason behind it? It is important that constitutional provision, but that is not sufficient. Main important thing is attribute is that our democratic politics in our constitution. This is also helpful for success in the federalism in India. So this ensured So this ensured that spirit of the federalism, respect for the diversity, and desire for living together becomes shared ideals in our country. Means all these three factors important here. First one is spirit of federalism. Second, respect for the diversity and desire for living together. All these three things are important, and that is why people from the different culture, group, ethnicity, language, they living together peacefully or harmoniously. Let us look at some of the major ways in which this happened. First, it is linguistic state. Most of the state of our constitution, they are separately separated on the base of their language. So first it is linguistic state, is how federalism practice it is in the India. So first it is the base of linguistic state. So creation of linguistic state was the first and major test for the democratic politics in our country. If you look at the political map of India, when it began its journey as a democracy in 1947 and that of 2006, you will be surprised that extent of the changes, means changes taken place from 1947 to 2006, and even though today many old state have vanished, बहुत सारे जो old state है वो they merge or they vanish, and many new state have been created. Area, boundaries and names of the state have been also changed. Now, in 1947, boundaries of several old states of India, they were changed in order to create the new state. Means boundaries have been changed for creating the new state. This was done to ensure that people who spoke the same language live in the same state. For example, Maharashtra speak Marathi, Tamil Nadu speak Tamil. So this division of state, it is done on the basis of language which they speak in that state. So some states were created not only on the basis of language, but to what? But to recognize the different base on the culture, ethnicity and geography. Means some of the region, they are not established not only on the base of language, but what is the base of their separating culture, ethnicity and geography. This includes state like, for example, Nagaland, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand. They are separated. This state or its existence of this state existed or came as a state on the base of their culture, ethnicity and geography. So this is on the page number 19 we have seen. Then come to the page number 20. Page number 20 of your textbook. When the demand for the formation of state on the basis of language was raised, some national leaders feared that it would lead to the disintegration of the country. Means when demand raised for the separation of state on the base of language, some of the leaders, they had fear on this. Their fear was that it would lead to what? Disintegration of the country. The central government resisted linguistic state for some time. But the experience has shown that the formation of linguistic state has actually made the country more united. But that fear was there in place of some leaders. But but in practice, or it proved actually made such a division on the base of this language more India united more, or actually made the country more united instead of disintegration which they had fear. So it has also made the administration easier, और इसी के कारण administration भी easier हुआ है. Means dividation of the state on the base of language, their culture, ethnicity becomes easier, and it prove more united and easier administration. And second one is the language policy which we have adopted in our country, that we are studying how the federalism practiced in India. So what is our language policy? So a second test of Indian federalism, first state was that consisted test the first on the base of linguistic state, and second language policy. So second test of the Indian Federation is language policy. Our constitution did not give the status of national language to any one language. हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ऐसा कोई स्टेटस नहीं दिया है नेशनल लैंग्वेज का किसी एक लैंग्वेज के लिए. हिंदी वॉज आइडेंटिफाइड एज अ ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज. हिंदी को कौन सा स्टेटस दिया है? ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज. बट हिंदी इज मदर टंग ऑफ ओनली अबाउट 40% इंडियन. लेकिन हिंदी ये जो है वो इट इज़ द मदर टंग ऑफ ओनली 40% इंडियन. And this we have given the status Hindi. We have given status to Hindi as an official language. But this Hindi speaks only 40% of the India. Therefore, there were very many safeguards. There were many safeguards to protect the other languages. Beside Hindi, there are 21 languages recognized as a scheduled language. Means हिंदी के साथ साथ 21 लैंग्वेजेस को हमने एक स्टेटस दिया है, रिकॉग्नाइज किए हैं एज अ शेड्यूल लैंग्वेजेस बाय द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. मीन्स ऑल इट इज मेंशन इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. सो कैंडिडेट इन एन एग्जामिनेशन कंडक्ट फॉर द central government position may opt to take the examination in any of these languages. Means those who are giving giving exam of the central government, even Union Public Service Commission, so they can use any language, Hindi or Hindi, English, or apart from these 21 languages, regional languages. In that languages they give exam. So state to have their own official language. Much of this government work take place in the official language of the concerned state. Okay. So unlike the Sri Lanka, the leaders of our country adopted very cautious attitude in spreading the use of Hindi. According to the constitution, the use of English for the official purpose was to stop in 1965. 1965 May. As per the constitution, the use of English for the official purpose, that was stopped. Which year? 1965. However, many non-Hindi speaking states demanded that use of English continue. लेकिन 60 में जब स्टॉप हुआ इंग्लिश का यूज़, तो many non-Hindi speaking people, especially South Indian states, they demanded that the use of English would be continue. In Tamil Nadu, this movement took a violent form, और इसी के कारण for raising this demand, which demand for the starting use of the Hindi as an official language. So uprising taken place in the violent form. The central government responded by agreeing to continue the use of English along with the Hindi for official purpose. Means then central government given the decision or parliament given the decision that use of the English also would be there with the Hindi as the official language because of violence taken place. Then many critics think that this solution favor the English speaking elite. So criticisms were there. Criticisms means talking against to this provision or changes that many critics thinks that solution favor इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग इलाइट्स. तो इन्होंने क्रिटिसिज्म किया और कहा गया है कि ये जो सॉल्यूशन इन्होंने निकाला है यूजिंग द इंग्लिश एज अ ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज विद द हिंदी मीन्स इट इज़ द फेवर ऑफ दिस इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग people. This such a criticisms were there. Then promotion of Hindi continue to be a official policy of the government of India. So promotion does not mean that central government can impose Hindi on the state where people speak different languages. Means central government they impose Hindi, but with the Hindi other languages also they can use. Even MPs, member of parliament, when they takes oath, it is the freedom given to them. They can take the oath as per their mother tongue. So flexibility shown by the Indian political leaders help our country avoid the kind of situation that Sri Lanka find itself in. So strategically principles we have adopted in the constitution and they are very helpful for the practice of federalism in India. Whatever changes we have done for running our society smoothly or harmoniously, and because of adopting this flexibility, clashes or disputes not arise just like in the Sri Lanka. And third test for practicing federalism in India is that central state relation. We have seen what here? Language policy, and third one is central state relation. How practice of the federalism in India. So this is one of the tests, central state relation. Okay, here central state relation, that is on the page number 20, central state relation. Restructuring the central state relation is on relation is more restructuring the central state relation is on the more way in which federalism has been strengthened in the practice. How constitutional arrangement for sharing the powers work in the reality depends to the large extent on how the ruling parties and leaders follow this arrangement. For the long time, the same party ruled both at the central and in the most state. This meant that state government did not exercise their right as an autonomous federal unit. Means if the same party is there in the central as well as in the state, this is not position in the in Maharashtra, but before to that BJP government was there and in central BJP was there. Now in central BJP is there, but in the state Shiv Sena. If the same party government is there in the both states, so autonomous or state government um, can issue the orders which given by only state government, means they do not use their autonomous power in federal unit, as when the ruling party at the state was different. The practice of rule at the central tried to undermine the powers of state, just like position in the India, position in the Maharashtra, because in central government is different and in state government is different. So they use their autonomous power. In those days, the central government would often misuse the constitution to dismiss the state government that were controlled by the rival parties. Our central government, which is in the majority, and they can change the provision, because opposition party's role is important in democracy, but position is not of the prestigious because of having the majority in the central. They can change the provisions as per their need, and it is going on, it is the fact. दिस अंडरमाइन द स्पिरिट ऑफ फेडरलिज्म, और इसके कारण फेडरलिज्म का जो स्पिरिट है वो अनदेखा होता है, अंडरमाइन किया जाता है. then all these changes then all this change significantly after the 1990. This period saw the rise of regional political parties in many states of the countries. Means 1990 के बाद most of the regional parties they came in the existence and this scenario changed. This was also beginning of the era of coalition government. अभी कोइलेशन गवर्नमेंट नहीं है, मेजॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट है. कोइलेशन गवर्नमेंट ऑलरेडी वी हैव स्टेटेड दैट if there is no clear cut majority for in particular party for forming the government, then that party takes the help of other parties for forming the majority or forming the government. So this scenario came in 1990. Now it is also changed. Now government is BJP government is powerful government or majority is there. No coalition government is that one. So central since no single party got the clear cut majority in Lok Sabha, this is about 1990, the major national parties had to enter into the alliances. Major national parties जो थी वो उन्होंने क्या किया था, alliance. They came together with many parties including several regional parties to form the government at the central. For example, UPA government, not only Congress but other parties that came or joined or given support for forming the government, and that was called the coalition government. This led to the new culture of the power sharing, और इसी के कारण नई पावर शेयरिंग की कंसेप्ट आई थी, and respect of the autonomy of the state government. This trend was supported. This trend was supported by the major judgment of the Supreme Court and made it difficult for the central government to dismiss the state government in an arbitrary manner. So it was the this trend supported the major judgment of the Supreme Court that made it difficult for the central government to dismiss the state government. Central government को स्टेट गवर्नमेंट डिसमिस करने का अधिकार नहीं था. इट वॉज द मेजर डिसीजन सपोर्टेड बाय हुम, सुप्रीम कोर्ट. So thus the federal power sharing is more effectively today. आज यदि हम देखते हैं तो फेडरल पावर शेयरिंग इट इज़ इफेक्टिव. then it was in the early year after the constitution came in force. So this is on the page number 21 which we have discussed, and this is the end of this end of the how is federalism practiced in India in this part. Okay, student.